This is obviously different than traveling to a place like Iraq or Afghanistan, where the president's travel plans are not announced in advance. But we obviously have taken some important precautions to keep the president safe while he is traveling in Africa.
And Kenya has been targeted by al-Shabaab because they are sending their troops there, fighting them in neighboring Somalia. And Kate, you should know it was in April that they claimed responsibility for slaughtering 147 people at a Kenyan university. It was just last month that they attacked 2 homes, killing 14 people. But again, Kate, U.S. officials say that they do believe the president will be safe. They are just very concerned about whether or not they'll take that opportunity during the president's trip to hit those soft targets. Kate?
Absolutely. Suzanne, great to see you. Thank you so much. Out front tonight, former Secret Service agent who was assigned to President Obama, Jonathan Wackrow, and former CIA operative Bob Baer, a CNN intelligence and security analyst. Jonathan, specific details as Suzanne was laying out about the president's itinerary, the Air Force One flight itinerary, if you will, was released to everyone on Facebook. I mean, these are details that should be pretty sensitive. How big of a deal is it?
This is a really big deal. Anytime that the president's schedule or any type of security plan is divulged prior to a trip, it raises the risk level. So this is a really big deal. The good thing, though, is that the Secret Service and the military do have time to readjust their plan that was disclosed. So we can try to mitigate this risk a little bit.
And adjust it. We'll be doing a little bit of adjusting very quickly because the trip's coming up. So, Bob, you say the president's trip to Kenya is the perfect storm for a terrorist attack. Explain.
Well, Kate, there's a couple things. It is on the bloody edge on the war on terror. There's been a lot of attacks in Kenya. It's got a large Muslim population, about 11%. It's got a 440-mile border with Somalia. You've got a lot of Somalis with heavy weapons. The Secret Service does not like to get into big firefights with anybody. Will he come out to this safely? More than likely, but Kenya is just not the safest place in the world right now.
Yeah, with all of that in mind, and the fact that sources are saying there is growing chatter from terror groups around this, Jonathan. I mean, you spent 5 years protecting the president. What are the greatest challenges, or what is the single greatest challenge in taking on a trip like this?
Well, I think that you have to look at the environment that we're going into. As Bob said, this is a very volatile area that we're bringing the president into. I mean, people have been anticipating this trip since the day that he was first elected. Sure. So the people that want to hurt the president, have been planning for the last 7 years for this trip.
It's a scary thing to think about.
Oh, absolutely. This is one of the most dangerous trips that the president has taken during his administration.
More than going to Iraq, more than going to Afghanistan.
I believe so. I mean, the environment is too volatile, and it's we have to look at the way that we're operating in this environment. It's a very, very difficult trip, and I really think that the Secret Service is put on the spot right now. They have a zero-fail mission ahead of them.
They absolutely do. No kidding. And so, Bob, as Jonathan's laying out, you're laying out, and Suzanne just reminded us, I mean, Kenya has suffered from a series of major attacks, especially on soft targets, by the terror group al-Shabaab recently. At what point, in your view, does the White House need to say, if this trip isn't worth the risk?
I don't think it's worth the risk. The Kenyans, let me just add this to what Jonathan's been saying, he's absolutely right, are talking about building a wall along their border of Somalia. They're essentially saying this is the only way we can protect the people in this country. And, again, let me go back to the heavy weapons. The Secret Service is not prepared to deal with a military-style attack with rockets and the rest of it, and heavy weapons coming from multiple sources. Is this in the offing? I don't think so, but you can't exclude it, and it's a trip I frankly wouldn't have the president make.
And as you both well point out, the Secret Service, they'll need to be right 100% of the time on this in this regard, and the terrorists just once to get through. Jonathan, Bob, great to see you. Thank you.